Ready?
And you're good.
Hey, so thank you very much, Spencer, and thank you very much for coming. I'm really excited to be able to present you with this wonderful little slideshow that I've put together for your viewing pleasure. My name is Lisa, and I own and operate Cleanse Wellness Spa here in Cookeville. We do everything internal cleansing at our spa. It's not an exhaustive list of internal cleansing, but all 5 of our modalities are highly regarded in the holistic community as being very well known to have health benefits for people who are seeking alternative treatments, right? So we have to be very careful. We do not diagnose and treat. I am not a licensed medical profession in our state. I wish we were. You may, since you're a Floridian, be interested to know that the only place in the United States, of all the states in the US, that actually has a license for colon hydrotherapist is Florida. And Florida has it through the Massage Council, who is one of our insurance carriers. You have to be a massage therapist in order to even study to become a colon hydrotherapist. So once you become a massage therapist, and if you want to branch off to colon hydrotherapy, then you get to colon hydrotherapy. You go through our professional level course, and you take a national board exam, and then you can become a licensed colon hydrotherapist there. In the rest of the country, there's wonky rules and statutes and laws doing whatever they want because it's done by state. In this state, Tennessee, you absolutely cannot be a massage therapist to be a colon hydrotherapist. You can be one, but it's a separate, apart thing. So you can't study for colon hydrotherapy and become that, in that marriage. Additionally, the professional level colon hydrotherapy exam that you study for through International Association of Colon Therapists, which I'm an instructor for them, and I do have a school, and I do have students coming from other places to be my students and to learn. The same board exam that I bring them up to study for and prepare them for, that they're going to take in Tennessee or Illinois or wherever they're from, that only certifies them, even though it actually licenses them in Florida. There's no difference with the exam. So it's a crazy world we live in, but as is the way with holistic health. Colon hydrotherapy has been around since 1500 BC. It's called colon lavage. It was practiced by Hippocrates. It's ancient Egyptian. It's a cleaning up of the large intestine, which is one of the main organs that holds poisons and toxins, right? To safely exit them out of the body. So it makes sense that you need to keep it clean. In a perfect world, where we had the omnivore diet that we were created to have, where we ate a smaller amount of meat for certain seasons, and then we ate vegetables and fruits and other things in seasons, and we drank the right type of pure water, and we were breathing pure air, and in that perfect little realm that we were in for a long time, the colon cleaned itself out. But even ancient Egyptians recognized the correlation between gut issues and early death, because all those kings died in teenagers. Many people in ancient Egypt, they were like the original health nuts. They really cared about their appearances, really, and they have hieroglyphics talking about the gut and how they used a type of colonic, and so that's where our profession came from originally. It was brought to this country formally by Dr. James Kellogg, who actually used to be a really famous doctor for being super healthy. It was taught in Loma Linda Medical College in Loma Linda, California, where Loma Linda is actually the only group of the blue zone people in the entire country. And blue zones are a people, and they have them all over the world. A blue zone is a zone or an area in which people live to be 100 or over with perfect health. And I mean intimate with their partners, happy with their grandkids, walking around, talking and laughing, working still, at 100 and more. So whoever has the largest population of people like that, and I don't mean like little Miss Betty Johnson from NBC News turned 116 today and she can't move, and it's not like that. There are people that are actually living full, amazing lives, 100 and beyond. And the only group in the United States to do that is the Seventh-day Adventists at Loma Linda, right? So it was taught in 1953, colon hydrotherapy was on a closed system. We still use FDA registered class 2 enema devices to this day. There are some right down the street here at Cleanse Wellness. I am one of the only instructors, I think, in the state, and I'm definitely the only certified person here in town. I know there's one or two other people offering colon hydrotherapy, but because, like I told you, there's no licensing here, it's like the Wild Wild West. So all my certifications that I bring with me from California, I have those so I can have medical malpractice insurance. But technically, if I wanted to go out and buy colon hydrotherapy equipment and do it out of my garage for you, I don't know how safe and sanitary it would be, but you could do that here. And we're trying to push to get legislation. Usually we want less big government as a people, but I think it would be advantageous, since we have so many people doing it, that everyone have a good, safe experience, because it's responsible of us as colon hydrotherapists to be able to offer you, the public, the very best. So that's my little blurb about what I do. We also do lymph drainage, and we'll talk about that a little bit, and far infrared saunas. In countries like Sweden, everybody has a far infrared sauna in their homes, because it's been shown that 4 to 5 sessions a week can reduce the cardiovascular incident by 50% in most people, so it's like a huge thing. Heats your body like a baby's incubator from the inside out and reduces inflammation. And so people are like, oh, it's just a sauna. It's not a sauna like you'd go to the YMCA and have a steam sauna. Those are really great for muscle regeneration and relaxation. But the far infrared sauna reduces inflammation in people that have like advanced Lyme and Rocky Mountain spotted fever, MS, people with RA, rheumatoid arthritis. I know my mom used to use ours before we moved, and she has lupus, and she has had lupus, and she was 25 and she's 76 now. So it was very helpful for her. And so there's that. So we do colonics, open and closed, that colon lavage. We do the bioelectronic lymphatic drainage. We do the far infrared sauna, and then we do ionic foot detoxing, as well as the lemon peppermint foot soaks. So the ionic foot detoxing is interesting, because some people saw the Dateline episode in 2010 where Dateline said that it was baloney, because the water will turn color whether your feet in there or not. Well, I certainly hope so. If the machine is on and ionizing, it should be turning color. It's got a copper lined array inside, and when you dump the salt in there, it's supposed to change the chemical structure of the water. It's if you can keep your feet still while in there, what comes out of your body will float on top. So I have a friend who's local here. She's pretty popular with the chamber, and she came in and she had a little patch of foot off of her foot, skin cancer taken. And during the surgery, or after the surgery, I should say, during her recovery, she noticed that she had a lump in her groin. I said, well, that's a lymph node, probably. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but your main drain from the belly button down is in your groin. And she did 1 foot bath, and it went away. And here came all the women's club luncheon girls in for their foot baths, right? So now we started off with 2 chairs, now we have 4 chairs. So it really does work, and it's at a nice low price point for the public to come in and do a half-hour in and out kind of thing. So we're going to talk about gut health. And again, I'm Lisa Garcia from Cleanse Wellness Spa, and we're going to talk very briefly on how to truly level up your gut health. So let's see here. What is your gut? Your gut is your friend. And it's so important, because your gut ties into just everything. It ties into your moods, ties into your physical health, it ties into what food sensitivities you have and don't have, it ties into your sleep and all the things that you do in your lifestyle. How you eat, sleep, play, your moods tie back into your gut. So it's like this big giant circle. So here's some information here that we want to talk about. We're going to answer these questions. What is your gut? Why should you be friends or friendly and care about it, care about taking care of it? What it actually does for you? Signs of an unhealthy and unhappy gut, and why? And we're also going to talk about a really quick 5-day gut transformation and how our detoxing services can help people with gut issues. So there it is in all of its glory. Now what you're seeing there is you're seeing the last part on the top there of the pyloric sphincter that goes from the stomach into the small intestine. You're also seeing the small intestine, which is the thinner group of, looks almost like, I don't know, squiggly spaghetti, but fatter in the middle. And then as you see down here, it comes out of the cecum and joins right here in the ileum. And then that's the large intestine. Now your large intestine is what I usually focus on in my business. Sometimes we deal with SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, which is when some of the bacteria that shouldn't have passed through the stomach, because we all have low stomach acid in our country, which is an epidemic, and what they do for the symptom. So let me just say this. In our country, we have pharmaceuticals that all have their place at times short term, but a pharmaceutical is always 100% of the time symptom management. There is no pharmaceutical that cures anything. No, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's toe fungus. I don't care. It's only masking the symptoms. If my husband has an athlete's foot fungus and he goes and gets this special stuff to put on his feet and it takes it away, then it pops up on his back. And then he takes some more stuff for fungus and it pops up over here. He's eating too much Mexican lollipops at El Milagro. He's eating too much ice cream behind my back. He's eating too much sugar. He's got a candida and a yeast bacterial overgrowth in his body. And I don't care how much cream you slather on or pills you take, that's the problem. So the problem is the same thing with health and everything else in the world. The cause is the cure, right? Stop what's causing it, and there's your cure. So your gut, also known as your GI tract, and this isn't the whole thing, but it's enough. It's a complex system that actually starts from your mouth, and we're talking about the digestive tract now. Your GI tract starts in your mouth and goes all the way down to your anus. So it includes the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and everything in between. It is responsible for digesting food and absorbing nutrients, and that most nutrient absorption takes place in the small intestine, but there are certain minerals and other things that are absorbed by the large intestine as well. So when people say, they want to take out a 4-foot-long section of my large intestine, and I'm just going to let them do it. I'm like, oh, is there cancer in there or something? No, it's just giving me some trouble. Have you stopped gluten? Have you stopped dairy? Have you seen if you've got a food sensitivity? Is there a situation stressing you out? Is there a reason you have diverticulosis or diverticulitis? How can we fix it? Nope. First thing is surgery, bag. Surgery, bag, surgery, bag. But then you can't, once you do that, you really can't absorb many things. And then you've got these people that are starving because even though they're eating and eating and eating, it's kind of like the Ghostbusters scene when all those uncles and ghosts are eating and everything's falling on the floor. You can't really absorb anything because you're missing the organ that does that. It's responsible also for eliminating waste in the body, and it houses, both of these organs house a very diverse community of bacteria and other microorganisms, and they have a name. It's called gut microbiome. The gut microbiome is so important. So it plays a really important role in immune function, which is why it's important, because everyone is getting sick all the time. But when I hear, oh, there's COVID going around again, I have a bunch of clients that called in and had to reschedule their appointments over the summer, and I couldn't believe it. They all had COVID and the stomach flu. I'm like, I'm 56 years old. I can remember when the stomach flu happened in the wintertime. You didn't get colds and flus unless it was in wintertime. And it certainly wasn't killing anybody. So, but that's just my own, I'm a conspiracy theorist, like all my other friends. Which I'm really not, because everyone is now kind of on the same page as why are we dying of the flu? What's happening here? So there's the little stomach. It's holding hands with the small and large intestine, and they're being friendly. So being friends with your gut is essential for your overall health because it plays a key role in what we just talked about. Having everything digest, having everything, all the nutrients that comes in through the mouth, digest properly. A healthy gut will support overall well-being. I have people that have gotten off of antidepressants after having enough colonics and fermented foods. And it's interesting because in my practice, I moved here from California, which people either love it or hate it. One of my friends who's born and raised here said, well, she goes, I love that there's diversity here now. And you can't expect to sell 100 acres at an acre a parcel each and have 100 people from California buy those acres and build a house and not have them as your neighbors. They didn't come over and take over our properties. We sold them, right? I mean, it's the way it works. But anyway, I digress. The fact is that I've had people use colonics because it's really popular where I'm from. It's really popular in New York and the bigger cities. And personally, I think the people in Cookeville have every right to have it here. Because there's people in Jamestown that had cancer and they had to sell almost everything that they owned to go for a place called Hope for Cancer in Mexico. And you can get all those services here now. I offer 5 of them. And there's also places here in Crossville that offer really great, and in Doyle as well, that offer really great hyperbaric oxygen, the real kind. There's a place in Crossville where there's a doctor that gives the real amount of IV therapy. And now IV therapy is great. There's some spas around here that give it, and Myers cocktails and all this stuff. But if you've got cancer, you need a medical doctor to be prescribing, 75 to 100 units, which is really it's 1,000 UIs or whatever it is, and that's not safe for a regular RN to administer with the medical director. But we have it locally here now. You don't have to fly to another place. A healthy gut also contributes to good mental health, which we talked about. It influences mood and brain function. You have to help it out though. Instead of taking this pill and that pill, you should probably try, if you can, if you choose, maintaining a good relationship through a balanced diet, hydration, and mindful habits to promote that healthy microbiome, only because a strong body and mind will never come from taking a pill. If we could do it, we would. But it's a false narrative to go into somewhere and think that you are going to be getting healed with a pill. It's not going to happen that way. So, what does your gut actually do for you? And this is your guide to gut health. So symptoms, effects, and solutions. So microbiome diversity. Your gut is home to that complex. It's almost like a coral reef where you see all these beautiful, different, colorful sea life, sea urchins and all that stuff. That's what your gut microbiome looks like, underneath the microscope. It has viruses in it, which is okay. Okay. It has fungi in it, which is okay. There's special organs to house these things properly. Just because we have a nuclear power plant doesn't mean that we're drinking nuclear waste in our water. If it's housed properly, it's got its purpose. We talked very briefly about SIBO, small intestine bacteria overgrowth, and that's because some of the stuff like H. pylori and other things, it's supposed to die. Even E. coli, if we eat something, our stomach acid is supposed to be nice and strong to be able to kill off parasites and other things like that. But our stomach acid is low because of our diet and our lifestyle in the country that we live in. And so one of the symptoms of a low stomach acid is constant reflux. And reflux or heartburn is painful. So when you go to the doctor to figure it out and they find out that you've got reflux, they give you an anti-acid blocker, which is the worst thing to do because it's lowering the amount of acid that your stomach has. So it is a diagnose and treat society. And I'm not against our medical system. I think we have some of the most brilliant minds whose hands are completely tied. I think we have some doctors that want to and could very well change the world if they were allowed to practice how they wanted to and if they were educated on nutrition. Do you know the average medical school, including the ones here in Tennessee, which are amazing medical schools, have an average nutrition program, true nutrition education of the entire time you're in medical school of 3 hours? 3 hours.
I heard that recently.
It's 3 hours worth of nutrition, when everything you put in your body is the only thing that affects your health. Now, of course, I could work at Oak Ridge in a factory and be, susceptible to this and this and this and be exposed. I totally understand there's environmental factors, but I would say for the most part, the biggest difference between, and we're number 77, by the way, in ranking in health in the world, and pretty much, and that's countries that are not third world countries. We're number 77 of countries that are updated like we are, but we have all the luxuries, they got the water, turn on the water at your house, turn on the electricity at your house, you got air conditioning, you've got, medical care anytime you want to. I mean, there's more doctors than there are people, probably. As far as medical centers and I mean, it's like, so anyway, there's that. Digestive function, so it talks about the gut or the GI tract is responsible for breaking down the food, absorbing the nutrients, and eliminating waste, which we already talked about. When we talked about all that it included. Digestion begins in your mouth. So when you start chewing your food, that's when your salivary amylase gets squirted out of these ducts, and that's when it starts to break down the carbohydrates, which need to be broken down first, the sugars, before it hits the stomach. But the way that we inhale food in our country, because we eat really fast, and we don't chew it 20 to 30 times until it's completely masticated, we're swallowing things into our body that a stomach that's low on acid can't even begin to digest, even if it was properly chewed. So that, I mean, a lot of times when I'm doing colonics, I can see, oh, so let me see, you ate onions, and you had some carrots, and you definitely had some beans. I mean, people joke that it's just corn that you can see in your waist, because corn is actually not a vegetable, it's a grain. So, and it's one of the most heavily sprayed grains in the world for people that, for countries that spray it. If you're on Weight Watchers to lose weight, it's actually a carb. It's not counted as a vegetable, it's counted as a carb. So it's the same thing, according to Weight Watchers, as if you ate a slice of bread or half a cup of pasta. So, a significant portion of the body's immune system, so this is really important right here, and this is what people don't understand as well. A significant part of your body's immune system is located in the gut. The gut-associated lymphoid tissue, or GALT, helps protect against pathogen and influences immune responses. So if you're somebody that's getting sick all the time, I'm always sick. Every time my kids come home, I get sick, they tell me. There's something wrong with your immune system. Beef it up. Are you taking B-complex? Are you taking vitamin C? Are you falling asleep by 9? Are you getting up by 6? Are you staying hydrated? Are you stopping eating 3 hours before bed? Are you limiting your screen time? Well, when I check off that list, or when I give them the list of how they can help their immune system to shoot through the sky, they look at me with very hopeless eyes. Because in America, our lives dictate to us what we do. And we are the little tin soldiers. We're the ones. I mean, I got moms and dads who are educated people who are sacrificing to pay for our services, and they actually have second jobs delivering for DoorDash, which is a whole other question. Who's watching the kids? If you're going to dropping them off at 6 a.m. at the daycare, and you're working all day long, and grandma's picking them up for a couple of hours, and then you're going to DoorDash until 10 o'clock at night. And it used to be that my grandfather had a smart mouth and would say, well, buy a little bit of less widescreen TVs, honey. But that's not the case. People are having to do that to live. It's not even like they're going boating all week long or going to Destin. I mean, some families could do that, but for the most part, people are just surviving. So the good news is that the healthiest place in the entire area is the Cookeville Farmers Market. And they're amazing farmers that either are certified organic or do not spray their stuff. They're there in the bitter cold. I'll go there when the snow is snowing, and they're there wrapped up, giving me these ginormous, beautiful heads of lettuce that were just picked. Because by the time you pick something in sunny California and stick it in the back of a truck and get it down to your local Kroger, it has 0 vitamins. 0. They tested spinach and strawberries for their vitamin C content and iron content or something. And when they were picked, it was like 100,000 or whatever. And 3 days later, it was like 5. 5. There was nothing left in it. So you're getting roughage, which is helping you poop, which is a good thing, because I have people that come to see me that haven't pooped in 47 days, 32 days, 21 days. I have somebody that's coming to me from the Follett that hasn't pooped in, I don't know, well, I think it was close to 40 days, something like that. She wasn't the 47 day from CrossFit, but still. and things influence us. So the gut-brain connection. So people don't understand, the gut is the immune system, right? So they've done studies on, let's just say, there's a trauma. Many times the trauma is infidelity in the marriage. There's one. So your husband cheats on you with his secretary, and 10 years later, even though you're feeling great, you have a breast cancer tumor. And they measure the tumor, And guess how old they estimate it to be? 10 years old. So it's how our stress level, because we live in a fight or flight state now instead of, like when you're driving down the street and you almost get hit, but then oh, that was so scary, but then you go on with your day. Your nervous system, your cortisol and your adrenaline stays up. We wake up in that state. We go to bed in that state. It's an epidemic. I wish we could slow down. I wish we could. I had a client that was a old order Mennonite from Spencer, and when she passed away, I had to go to her funeral. I had to, because they kept coming to my office in their little bonnets and dresses, and they were driving and hiring drivers to come get me, and they really wanted me there because we had spent time with the family, at my place and at the hospital in Erlanger as well. And so my husband and I had to go, and we were the only. And I didn't want to go just because I knew it was going to be something that would be overwhelming, but I went anyway but their lives are so much simpler than ours. I mean, it was crazy. It was just crazy. I mean, the kids were running around with no shoes on. I'm not trying to say that that's the way to go either, because I know there's weirdness and stuff in every culture, but I'm just saying that it's so much different to not be having a phone in your face every 5 minutes and having to, like I've been standing up here talking to you for, I don't know, 20 minutes, and I don't know how many notifications I've gotten. They were all cleared when I first got in here. And so the gut-brain connection, we're talking about that tumor and how the gut-brain connection and trauma can affect us briefly. The gut is referred to and known to many places in the world, and now it's starting to be bigger in in the United States, as a second brain. And the reason is because it has a thing called the gut-brain axis, which directly correlates to each other. So if you're getting ready to go and do a big speech, you might have butterflies in your stomach. Or if you're ready to go do something, maybe it's your wedding day, it doesn't always have to be something negative, but you just don't have an appetite. It's because of your emotional charge is affecting what your gut is doing. The connection means that the gut health can affect mood, stress levels, and mental health, or vice versa. The impact of the gut on overall health is that imbalances or issues within the gut causes friction in the microbiome, and that can contribute to various health conditions, which is digestive disorders, autoimmune diseases, and metabolic issues. Maintaining a healthy gut is essential for overall well-being. Signs of an unhappy gut. There's a nice little graphic here. You can read that. I don't put too many notes here, but sometimes people like to take notes, and so I wanted to kind of give them a broad spectrum. Impaired absorption of important nutrients for brain health. So each of our organs helps the other. So gut inflammation can lead to brain inflammation. Changes in cytokine and peptide secretions can lead to dysregulation in the brain. Hunger signaling cravings can be affected. This is really true. I have people that come in and they do colonics with me or foot detoxes, and they say, I crave sugar so much less. It's taking yeast out of the body. It's actually giving your insides a shower, getting rid of some of the overgrowth of some of the microorganisms that are causing you to want more of them. Talks about reduced dopamine, and that the production, if it's reduced, can cause mood swings and depressions and low libido. There are natural things you can do, foods and activities to raise and increase your dopamine. We don't have to take antidepressants, mood stabilizers, or Viagra and all that baloney. You don't need to do that to your body. There are ways to do it naturally. Reduced GABA production from dysbiosis in the gut can lead to anxiety and feelings of fear. Everybody I know deals with that. Reduced serotonin synthesis, or the ability to process and make it into what it needs to be for the body to use, can lead to depression and low mood swings and low moods. And inadequate melatonin production from serotonin imbalances can cause insomnia. So what do? Everybody's on melatonin now. So signs of an unhappy gut, in addition to all the stuff that needs to happen for the best health, can include digestive issues like bloating, gas, constipation, or diarrhea, IBS C or D, abdominal pain or discomfort. Other symptoms may be fatigue, food intolerances. Now that's not a true food allergy, but food intolerances are important. We have a diet in our country that incorporates a lot of dairy. If you're gonna eat dairy, you should probably take a digestive enzyme. They're very inexpensive. We have them at our place, inexpensive. We were not created to digest the food long term that was made for a baby cow. That's what cows do. They can digest that better. So if we can take some digestive enzymes, that can lead to a lot of help for us. Skin problems, unexpected changes in weight. An unhappy gut can also affect your mental health, which we've talked about. Causes of an unhealthy gut and ways we need to make our gut happy and why. And these are just all the things that we've been talking about here. Mental health, better immunity, longevity, managing our stress. Managing our stress is really important. And again, stress doesn't just mean negative, feelings. Stress can just be going and going and going all the time. These are kind of some of the things. Poor hydration as well, really important. The foods that we eat, because there are not a lot of vegetables that are nice and fresh and local, they don't contain enough water like we normally would. So here's the totally doable 5-day gut reset. So this is the 3 F's, how to keep your gut healthy with them. So fasting, fitness, and fiber, and fermented foods, right? So the 3 F's would be food and fasting and fitness. So fasting for at least 12 hours. Some people say, I cannot fast. I can't intermittent fast. I can't fast because of my diabetic medicine. At least 12 hours. Stop eating at 6 p.m. and don't eat again until 6 a.m. You're sleeping most of that time. Exercising for at least 30 minutes, 5 to 6 times a week. Some people's exercising needs to be modified because of health and limitations with that, but something can be done. When my mom was really sick, they had her lifting cans of peas in her house. Gut-loving foods. Now these are foods that love your gut, and they contain fiber. Asparagus and beans and celery and greens and fresh fruits and fermented foods like sauerkraut and kimchi and pickles, all of those things. Yogurt for people that can tolerate dairy. Anything that's minimally processed. How detoxing may help your gut. Now we've kind of talked about that already. So this is what I do for a living. That's the colon hydrotherapy equipment that I use. It's an FDA registered class 2 enema device. It has a lot of safety features in it, like temperature control, backflow prevention. We use a whole house filtration system that we change every single month. 5 microns. It's got a UV light for microorganism control. We don't pressurize the water. It's all gravity fed. It's just like a giant enema is all it is, but it can reach higher into the colon and it gets more out because it causes this peristalsis that a regular enema can't do. And the reason it can't do it is because it's just limited to the 32 to 34 ounces inside the enema bag, where this is a 45-minute long session. Bioelectric lymphatic drainage. Light touch equipment-based way to drain the lymph from the body. We start at the chest and shoulder, underarm area. We bring everything towards the heart. So if it's above the belly button, we bring it all towards the heart. Below the belly button, we bring it up towards the heart. Main drains of the body are thoracic, above the belly button, and your left groin. Ionic foot detoxing, we talked about that a little bit. This is a really popular one, and the reason it's popular is because it is low cost and also it is low time consuming, 30 minutes. And we have a lot of people that have taken pictures of their foot baths, and what I like about it is it makes sense with their life. So the one girl with tons of medals will say, I'm a welder. It never ceases to amaze me. The one guy with a bunch of candida that came out, a bunch of yeast, more than his sister, and she was a sugar addict, and he never ever ate sugar. he said, well, I'm an engineer and I know how this works because I did some research before I came in, and I know why I have yeast in my system is because I drink IPAs at Red Silo all the time. It's wheat, same thing, processes. So any questions or comments? No? Okay, that's great. Well, I know that I answered quite a few before we got started. So that's me, Lisa Marie Garcia, National Board Credentialed Cold and Hydrotherapist. That's how to get a hold of me. I have business cards here today as well. And if I can ever be of any help, let me know. Have a great day, and thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm never going